Hey, everybody. I hope y'all can see me and hear me okay. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you all for being here. I am at my son's house. I haven't got everything upstairs organized enough to find everything yet, but I am about a half a load in the back of my Tahoe away from being completely moved out of my house. So this is what you say when you say, she's tired. I am exhausted, but I missed you guys and wanted to come on and talk to y'all for a while. So I thought we would do that. Well, thank you all for being here. Real quick, I don't know if everybody saw Sound of Silence. She said, hey, Lolly, mods in chat. Hope everyone is having a great day. Lolly, there's now a missing 17-year-old. He's a male in Churchill, Tennessee. It's in Hawkins County. Hayden Hatley, last seen June 5th. It just came out about 2 hours ago. What is going on in Tennessee? I don't get it. I mean, Solo Sock hit it on the head when she said Tennessee is the Bermuda Triangle for missing children. And here we go. Just an example of the Bermuda Triangle strikes again. So, hi, everybody. Come on in. Come on in. It is crazy, Solo Socks. It's not right. How many children have to go missing before people realize something is happening? And the people doing this are outsmarting everybody else. It is crazy. But I appreciate y'all so much for being here. I have not been on the YouTube streets too much this weekend. I have been busy, packing my little life away. I have 2 large, very large storage containers packed to the ceiling full. And I still have outside stuff I got to go get. So it's crazy how much you accumulate over a lifetime. But I'm ready for my next chapter in life once I get over being so tired. But before we get started, everybody make sure to go to Scott H. Check out his community wall. He has just posted the newest video on Summer Wells with WJHL. And they talked to Dawn, and Candace is with him. So y'all go check it out. I caught something very interesting when Dawn was talking, and he still made the reference to the afterlife. So I'm guessing he pretty much believes that she is no longer with us. Thanks, Aurora. There's Scott's channel. Y'all go check it out. Millie, thank y'all so much. Y'all are so good to me. Yeah, definitely go over there to Scott H. Give him a like on that video, because we're coming up on 3 years. We are just 5 days away. And being so close to that day, like I said, have not been on YouTube much this weekend. But today I had a little bit of time to catch up a little bit and listen And I watched Killer Looks channel today. I'm a big fan of his because he does a lot of outside the box thinking and shows receipts, and he's just really interesting, everything he puts out. So I watched that today and I was like, oh my gosh. If you go back and think about it, Candace said that her mother noticed a blue minivan across the street at the neighbor's house. Hold on. The dogs have to go out. I'll be right back. Come on, Holly boy. Okay. Sorry about that. But grandma noticed this blue van that's there across the street. And he talks about that in his video. So y'all make sure and go check that out because he puts a lot of things together and really makes you stop and think. And he plays some clips where on Ziggy's channel, when they were talking about Andy being at the end of the holler and everything, he was saying no, his uncle was in his car. And this was a while back, but it wasn't his uncle that was caught on camera. It was Andy that was driving the car that was caught on camera. But on June 14th, hello? Sorry, I don't know what happened. Everything went blank. But the neighbor was all up in a roar. And it was all because this man comes on his property. His property. It just happened to be next door to Jody, Sue, and Andy's house. So she goes as far as doing survey lines. She's mad. She's angry. She's got her son out there the day before running lines. The day of, they're out there checking lines. They pretty much ran off Jackie Dobbs. And everybody had talked about it because of the fact that he did nothing wrong. He did cut down a few trees, Andy said, that was on their side of the property line. Okay. Correct him, show him where the property line is, let him cut down whatever trees he wants to on his side. So be it. But that wasn't enough. When he went somewhere that night, he left. He left. He said he saw Don that day. He said Don looked like he was losing his best friend. He was questioning why he was up there. But yet, the man had a right to be there. And I understand they don't want someone new coming in. I get that. But that property was for sale. And he was the one that bought it. So why was it so important to get rid of Jackie Dobbs? I'm going to go back to that. Go back to that thought process. Was Jackie Dobbs a little too close for comfort? Was he a little too close to seeing something he shouldn't have? Or maybe did he? It really makes you wonder, because the man didn't bother him. He just wanted his little tiny slice of heaven up there. But it turned into an ordeal to the point to where on the night of the 14th, Andy and Jody Sue go driving around looking for Summer and Dobbs. Her words. So why, number one, would she be looking for Summer the night before she went missing? And number two, if the man wasn't on his property, why would you be going to look and see if he was where he was supposed to be? Yeah, Smiley, it turned out not to be um, heaven, right? I mean, nothing next door to Jody Sue would be heaven, that's for sure. Kathy Gordon, I agree. Maybe he was interfering with their plans. When I watched that Killer Looks video, guys, it just made the wheels turn in my head and I couldn't stop thinking about it. We all talked about it. We all questioned it. And then we kind of carried on to something else. But why would Andy's Uncle John need to be on the lookout for Jackie Dobbs? Why? If he was on his own property, minding his own business, you wouldn't worry about the man on a normal day, would you? But those weren't normal days right there, was there? Because on the 14th, Jody and Andy's looking for Summer and for Dobbs. And on the 15th, Andy's supposedly seen and on camera in the back of the holler. And the uncle's blue minivan was spotted at the driveway of Andy and Jody Sue. Was he on the lookout for something else? Or was he on the lookout for Jackie Dobbs? What was it that was happening that day that would cause so much turmoil over a man that just bought property? On Killer Looks video, he plays a little clip where Benny Keys says, Uncle was on the lookout for Jackie Dobbs the 14th and the 15th, yet he didn't see a thing. Isn't that just coincidental? All that happened? Uncle's on the lookout? But he saw nothing. It's a little too close to home for me. Yeah, there's no need to be on the lookout, Smiley. The man bought the property. He owns it. Why do you have to look out for him? What are you trying to make sure he didn't see? Is my question. What was it that Jody Sue, Andy Bernard, and Uncle John trying to keep the neighbor, Jackie Dobbs, from seeing? Because if he's on his own property, he has a right to be there. If he had quit cutting down the trees on your side, then he's not bothering you anymore. So why would there have to be a lookout for Jackie Dobbs? Nothing, Andy? Nothing? Your uncle was looking out for nothing? Was he driving your car that day? You know, Jody Sue makes reference to the fact that he needed to be on him and we didn't make him leave. The law did. The law didn't make him leave his own property. He had a right to be on his own property. There's no reason to make a man leave from his own property. What color was your uncle's van? Because it was all over that it was a blue van. And it was said that it was your uncle's. That's just all real coincidental. I don't know. What's Fred's people? Your uncle's Fred's people? Fred's people. He has a brown van. Hmm. What color was the blue van was Fred's people? What color was your uncle's Tacoma? No, we heard it was a blue van that was down there. Hey, hippie grandma. Andy, it just doesn't make sense why you would go on the 14th to make sure you could find where Jackie Dobbs was. It just didn't make sense. Why would you go looking for a man? Fred's sister had the blue van. Okay. So why were you looking for him on the 14th while y'all were looking for Summer, according to Jody Sue? Oh, hang on. I got to let dogs in. I'll be right back. Y'all can lay down. Okay. I think I might have lost my dog. Wanted to cause. She worried that he gave her weird vibes. So you went to look for him? He gave her weird vibes, so you go look for him. Hmm. He gave you weird vibes, or gave her weird vibes, so she wants to look for him? I don't buy it. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me, the trouble that man had just because he bought a piece of property there. Hold on. She wanted to know where he was at. He wasn't next door to y'all, so what was the big deal? Hold on. lady. Hey, y'all go lay down. Okay, all dogs accounted for. Sorry. Hmm. Yeah, that's my thing, Millie. If serious question, if he was on his own property, what did it matter where he went? And that's what bothers me is the trouble he had. Now I understand, Andy, you said that he was cutting down some trees on your side. I get that part totally. But for there to be him being on his own property, I mean, why couldn't he be on his own property? I don't know. Doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. Y'all make sure to watch Killer Looks video. Definitely check it out because he wasn't on his. I understand he was cutting some trees on your side. I get it. But wasn't your driveway partly on his driveway, on his land? Am I wrong about that? You know, here we are coming up on 3 years. 3 years of this baby girl being gone. There is trafficking rings being busted all over the place. And yet more kids keep come up missing. Okay, Andy. You know, we all know Jody Sue. She talks. She talks a lot. She talks about things that only a certain person would understand. And whatever that story pertained to, or should I say, whoever that person pertained to, they would be the only one to understand it. And yet she's doing survey lines herself. The woman who had such horrible problems, she couldn't move. And good day, Andy, because I think it might pertain to Summer Wells. And that's just my opinion because the dates coincide. No, it's none of her business now, but it was on June 15th, wasn't it? I'm just trying to figure out which one of y'all she's protecting, trying to cause distractions. Because I honestly believe there's a connection there. Jody Sue's running, what would you say? Putting up roadblocks along the way, turning people different directions in the story for 3 years. This has been happening. For 3 years, people have talked about all of it. For 3 years, everybody who lives around Summer Wells has been a suspect. For 3 years, not one little tiny thing has been proven as fact. Nothing. Everybody that lived close is a suspect. That's all they've said. They have said Summer's gone, and that's a fact. But yet, there's all this muddled in between stuff that we keep listening to and going over, and Jody Sue going live 3 and 4 times a day with shit that doesn't make sense. But she's here to protect somebody, I think. And that's my opinion. You know, I get so aggravated listening to people that want to throw one suspect under the bus and yet take up for and protect another suspect as if they've been cleared. No one's been cleared. And I don't care. All I care about is, where's Summer? How did she leave her hill? Who lured her down that hill? Who took her away from that holler? Or is she still in the holler? Or how long was she in the holler? You see, there's all these questions still sitting out there. For 3 years, it's sitting, it's getting kind of dormant, just sitting there. But there's got to be something. And when 2 plus 2 don't equal up to 4, when a man can't be on his own property without causing trouble, when people think he's weird and putting out bad vibes and they're going to go find out where he's at, that don't make sense at all. I'm sorry. I don't have anything against Andy. I don't have anything against Jody Sue. But guys, it's right there in front of us. You have to question those things. Now, do I question Fred and Ziggy? Yeah. Do I question Blue Roof Dawn? Yeah. Do I question all the other neighbors? Yeah. Because they were close enough. Because it's possible. But we don't know what happened. I understand that, Andy. I do. I do. I do know that she did that. And she's done that for a long time. And, I can pretty much say 90% of the people here don't even listen to her too much. They don't give her no what she says in circles. what she says. She puts out threats. What she says is almost so obvious that she's trying to deflect. And so, you know, how are we not supposed to question it? And Andy, I'm not being mean and I'm not targeting you, but I'm just bringing up these facts that it's there. Jackie Dobbs, little old man who just wanted a little piece of property. You know, he seemed to be in the way. Why would he be in the way, though? You know, people say Fred didn't haul off cars that day. I couldn't tell you if he hauled off a car or not. Did he haul off cars from 110 that day? Possibly. I don't know. I know he said what he said about hauling off cars. He talked about it, but now people saying he didn't. We got Andy's word, what he's telling us. We have Jody Sue's words over here, what she's saying. We got Fred's over here, what he's saying. But yet it all decides on who you want to believe. And it's just so muddled up. And it makes it hard not to question things. Andy, you said you weren't there on the 15th. I've heard people say you were. I don't know. I couldn't argue it if I wanted to, because I don't know. That's the bad part, Andy. Nobody here, I'm not twisting shit. I'm not. I'm just saying. I sat there and listened to PG last night spout off all kinds of shit, and it was all directed at Fred. How does she know? How does she know? She wasn't there. Just the same as me. I was not there. I can't say one way or the other. And who, me? I'm a hypocrite? I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not a hypocrite. I was not there. Nobody on YouTube was there. And that's the thing. How are we going to sit here and play these games and talk about shit when all we have to go by is what other people tell us? I do question, Andy, and no disrespect towards you, but I do question hard the whole Jackie Dobbs thing. The man was there 24 hours, possibly or less, according to himself. Say he was cutting trees, which he thought was his property line, and he was corrected. But I just don't understand why it had to turn into such an ordeal. Gotcha, Smiley. You know? I mean, doesn't make sense. And all we can do is throw out different scenarios. All we can do is talk different ideas, bounce it off of each other. You know? I mean, yeah, exactly 120 acres. Laura gave her 2 cents and PG corrected her. That's what I'm talking about. That's part of what I'm trying to say here. You know, we can sit here and attack, but nobody knows. There's two things that are clear. Everyone's a suspect and Summer's gone. That's it. From there on, it's just our opinions. And that's it. You know, I made a post today about PG talking about the F word, fuck, and shit are in the Bible. That pissed me off. No, it's not. You know, might be in her Bible that she wrote herself, but no, those words are not. And Andy, that's very correct. Everyone on YouTube has twisted and turned everything around until it's all scattered everywhere. The truth is getting lost. But Jody Sue made such a big deal about Jackie Dobbs being on that property, buying property next to her. By golly, that's a sin. That's how she made it. But why? Why would she need to go look down a man that gave her bad vibes? It makes me wonder. It really does. Because you see, we got a little girl who's missing. Something happened to her. And for a while, I even thought maybe an animal had got to her. I had that thought. But there would be something somewhere that would show that. And then kids started coming up missing. And even today, a new child is missing from in that area. So, is there a trafficking ring there? Is there a big, huge trafficking ring that is so smart? They're outsmarting everyone. You know, what is going on that the kids in Hawkins County there in East Tennessee don't seem to be very safe? Heard of what, Andy? Never heard of what before. What have you not heard of before, Andy? I don't understand. I got lost in the wasn't paying attention to chat. Sorry. Trafficking in Kingsport. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is that's what happening to these kids? There's two missing that they can't find. There's Summer that's missing. Today, another kid goes missing. Sebastian Rogers is missing. I heard there's what, 13 in the area or 17? Something like that. That's a lot. A lot. What is happening to these children? You know, I pray. Who's missing today? It was just a couple hours ago. I would have to let me see if I can go back. It was Caleb Hatley from Kingsport or Churchill from Churchill. Let's see here. Missing 17-year-old male in Churchill, Hawkins County, Caden Hatley. Last seen June 5th. I mean, it's just more and more. And maybe it's because we're talking about Summer and Sebastian so much that we're paying attention to it. Maybe that's it. But the children, they need to be protected. These kids, are they paying a price from some sicko adults out there? Or could Dawn be correct and Summer not be with us anymore? Because pretty much somebody either has her or she's gone. A child doesn't disappear on their own. A child just doesn't die for no reason. And yet, Summer's gone. In 3 years, nobody knows nothing. Or does a whole lot of people know something and nobody's telling? Because that is my thought. I believe a whole lot of people are involved, and I believe a whole lot of people aren't talking. Was money involved? I don't know. Am I right? I don't know. I can't say. All I can tell you guys, there's a lot of weird shit happening around this little girl's case. And it all happened around that time that June 15th came along. It's sad. It's sad. And it's a horrible thing. Did the parents do it? Did the neighbors do it? Did other family members do it? Did strangers do it? Did Summer herself do it? Why can't there be any answers? Why is it so hard to find a little girl? We showed and talked about the Appalachian Way, and she was born in that region. She grew up in that area. So how come people couldn't find her? How is it that she was on top of that mountain at 110 and now she's not? Was it the long carried out plan, well thought through? Or was this just something that was an opportunity? Was it something that might have been talked about and the time was right? Could it have been done earlier? Could it have happened earlier? Or were they waiting on payment? Or was it just that she got bored one day and walked away and disappeared? I don't understand how the law enforcement can go 3 years and not know crap. So surely law enforcement knows something. Let's just pray that they know enough that has them working on finding her. Because, guys, if they don't, then they need a new profession, in my opinion. Because a 5-year-old little girl, sure, she probably could run pretty fast, but there were ATVs out there riding around. There were people in cars riding around. Could she run faster than them? Hey, 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 hey. Sorry. A bird just hit the window and scared the pee out of me. Then the dogs barked. So it's hard to believe that this was something that Summer did herself. It's hard to believe for me that all leading up to that day, and that little girl just decided to walk away and bounce down the hill and disappear. Poof, gone. I just don't see it happening. And yet, here we are 3 years later, and people have chosen sides. You know, no disrespect, Andy B, but there are people that have chosen your side and believe in you wholeheartedly. There are people that have chosen Fred's side and believe in him wholeheartedly. There are people that have chosen the parents' side and believe them wholeheartedly. But where's where's proof? Where is proof? We need proof. We need something. We need law enforcement to tell us just what the heck happened so that we quit sitting here and speculating about Jackie Dobbs wanting to be on his property, about Andy's uncle driving a van. Was that his van at the end of their driveway the day of the 15th when Candace and Grandis came back home? That's the only reason we're speculating. That's the only reason we're talking about it. It's because those things or what we know, and everything we're being told is by the suspects. I'm not saying they're guilty. I'm just saying they're all suspects. And I really don't care whose boss is going to clear who. I don't care if they say they're not there that day. All I care about is this little girl's gone, and nobody can seem to agree on anything. So, who has her back? If all these people have everybody else's back involved in this story, who has Summer's back? Who has it? Well, guys, I'm going to leave it right there. We'll talk about Summer some more. But there's answers that need to be answered. I know Andy came in and he's trying to defend himself, and that's great. But it's still questionable. Fred defends himself. It's questionable. Don and Candace defend themselves. It's questionable. Because we've all lost sight of the fact that there's a little girl missing. And all these people who are defending themselves are all suspects. They may possibly have something to do with it. But then again, they may not. And that's just something we don't know. So keep in mind this week as you go along, as you're listening to other creators, don't let them convince you of things. Don't ever let me try to convince you of anything. Because no one knows the truth. None of us know. We only know Summer's gone and everyone is a suspect. And that's it. So to hear that people want to bash Fred, people want to bash Andy, I mean, to the point of calling them names and things, it's not right. Because we don't know. All we can do is bring out questions and more questions. Because at this point, anything is possible. And it does get old after a while. But here we are at the 3-year mark, and it's bringing it all back to light. So keep praying for her. There's a chance that she is out there. There is a chance that she could still be alive. We don't know. And that's the part that sucks. We don't know if she's okay or not. We don't know if she's alive or not. We don't know. So just keep putting her name out this week. Just put out some purple hearts everywhere you go. Anyone you talk to on text, online, whatever. Let's just remember this little girl. And it doesn't matter who married who or how long after they were with somebody else or, this one did this or that. We don't know. Thank you, Kathy. Guys, it's so frustrating. I haven't been on YouTube in a couple days. And when I did, I was like, oh, let me get caught up here. So frustrating. But go watch on Scott H's channel, watch his community post with WJHL. At least the news cares enough about summer to put out a little something and get us caught up. At least we care enough to talk about her. I just really wish, and I pray that law enforcement is actually doing something. And make sure you watch Killer Looks video. Just makes the wheels spin in your head. Is it possible? And that's all we can do. We can ask the questions. So y'all keep the faith. Hang in there. Andy B, don't hate me too much. Y'all all be good. And remember, guys, just a couple more days. And that day will come back as if it had just happened. Because we're all invested in this case. And it's going to be like brand new in our head all over again. So pay attention when you think about it all. And keep her in your prayers. Love and hugs to everybody. Bye.